if I win this, taking you ladies to the nicest restaurant in town.
You do realize they're like all closed.
Whatever. Yeah, no one's a winner. How about that? All right, guys, part 2 of Wednesday. We are going for the weighted version of today's workout. So check our last video for the body weight version. So a lot of this is going to sound repetitive, but we're just adding weight to it. Buy-in 3 to 4 sets. We're going single arm staggered Romanian deadlift, RDLs. And that's 12 to 15 on each side. And then single arm dumbbell or kettlebell row. We're not specifying how those rows are going to be done, so we're going to show you some different options, different things you can hold on to while you do that. But 3 or 4 sets, hitting those glutes and hamstrings, and then getting those pulling muscles working just like we did in the body weight video. Same kind of setup for our workout, 21 alternating EMOM, working for 30 seconds, resting for 30 seconds. Getting some lateral jumps over our dumbbell or kettlebell, getting some Russian swings and some goblet lunges kind of back to back in that. And then some Renegade Rows. So again, a lot of legs, explosive power, pulling, same theme all the way through. So even though we're not going someplace fancy, Marsha's still down to demo all of this stuff. This single arm staggered Romanian deadlift. So that staggered stance means she's just gonna kickstand one leg back. So most of the pressure is gonna be here in this forefoot. This is just for balance. The hinge comes from the hips. As she goes back, that bell goes straight down, back stays nice and flat, and comes back up to standing. No tempo or anything there. You can do them all on one side. You want to fight, keep going. You want to fight to keep the hips and shoulders squared like that, not really rotating or anything, but all that pressure should be in the leg that you're standing on. So if you switch, reset your position, pushing the hips back, getting those 12 to 15 reps on each side. So this is very much control and flexibility. If needed, so I'll actually demo this part. She has incredible hamstring flexibility. I do not. So when I kickstand that leg back, if I'm going to get to that depth, I actually will need to put a slight bend in this front leg, and that's okay. So if you can't get past your knee, let the front leg bend oh so slightly where you can get down to about middle of the shin, but you don't want to treat it like a conventional deadlift where you're bending the knee completely. You can just release some of that pressure to get a little extra depth in. Single arm bent over or kettlebell row. This is something that we normally will do a bent over position or chainsaw position, 3-point position. Any of those are fair game here. We're just looking for that pulling motion. So if you are just freestanding, that same bent over position, just like that, except now the feet are in line, just like we did in our staggered stance, RDL. These hamstrings are engaged, back's nice and flat, and you're just gonna pull back towards the bottom of those ribs. 12 to 15 on each side. So that's more the stationary version. It is pressure on the hamstrings to hold that. If you need assistance, you can still use your own body position for the chainsaw. Nice straight leg, supporting yourself in the front leg, still pulling back to the bottom of the rib. Same kind of position there. And then finally, if you have some kind of surface, that 3-point row, supporting yourself with your hand, getting the back flat, and pulling with that dumbbell. So whatever option works for you in this, whatever you have at your disposal, that works. But you guys are going 3 or 4 sets, jumping back and forth between those staggered stance Romanian deadlifts and your single arm row. And this is 12 to 15 reps on each arm. So it's a lot of volume. So gauge your sets wisely. If you get 3 of them, you got a little more in the tank, go for that 4th set, but that is big numbers. So if you're at 3 sets and you're starting to lose quality, that's totally fine. Now, with our alternating EMOM, we have lateral jumps, this little combo movement here in minute 2, and then the Renegade Rows. So the lateral jumps is exactly how it is. You're going to use your same dumbbell or kettlebell, having it sitting in a room, and you're just going to make sure that you clear it. Easy peasy, jumping back and forth. Expect that one to get your heart rate up, and make sure that you know where you're landing. Jump a little higher, a little further than you think you need to make sure you clear that. Don't trip over your dumbbell or kettlebell, especially the kettlebells that like to sit up a little bit higher. If you're a little nervous about jumping over something like that, you can always kind of jump slightly behind it and use it as accountability, less of an obstacle. Minute number 2 here. 30 seconds of that, 30 seconds of rest. Next one, 2 Russian, we'll just say swings, because this isn't a kettlebell. If you are using a dumbbell, you want to firmly grip right there in the center of the handle And these are Russian, which means eye level. So the same hinging motion, using the hips to fire that weight straight up, tucking it back. So it's more of that axe handle type swing. Can be done with a dumbbell, can be done with a kettlebell. If you have both, use whatever you're comfortable with. But that is the motion. So you will do 2 of those, switch to the goblet position, and then 2 reverse lunges, stepping back, touching the knee, and going. So there's 2 lunges, and then we go 2 swings. So hinge and swing, bring it in, lunge and lunge. So it's very much control of the weight, switching back and forth between those 2 motions, working for 30 seconds. Then the final one is the Renegade Row, which is going to be that plank position row. Since most of us will be working with a single apparatus here, you don't have to alternate hands every time unless you just want to, but solid plank position, same kind of rowing motion, touching the ground, pulling back. When you go to switch, you're best to be in the plank position, and you can move the dumbbell over or shift your weight, but you're fighting to keep these hips in check, shoulders in check, straight line all the way through. So, lateral jumps, swings and lunges, Renegade rows, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, switching every minute, getting 7 rounds in there. Just like with the bodyweight one, very much a pacing workout, utilizing that 1-to-1 work-rest ratio to see if you can hold on for the full 21 minutes. All right, guys. Dumbbell or kettlebell does not matter with these. With the Renegade rows, if you use a kettlebell, you may want to elevate your plank position where you get that range of motion. Adjust as needed on that. It's not mandatory that you use the same weight for everything. So if you're comfortable doing a heavier row but need to do a lighter swing, that's totally fine. Use what you have at your disposal. We've been talking all week about different things laying around the house that you can hold on to. Make smart decisions in that. If you got questions, comments, or concerns, shoot us a text, an email, whatever you can do to get a hold of us. Tag us on Instagram at CrossFit_TO, #BuiltByCFTO, all that good stuff. Look forward to seeing you guys on Thursday. See ya.